Welcome back to Roundabout News, where news and planning intersect. Today we visit Norman, Oklahoma, in our series about good planning across the region. Like many cities in the Southwest, Norman experiences severe urban sprawl because much of its development occurred in the 1960s during the boom of urban renewal, the increased use of personal vehicles, as well as the construction of I-35. Our reporters went on site to the city's best planned areas and interviewed resident planners to learn more about how the city's planners are maintaining the older, more walkable parts of the city, as well as completing new projects for parks, alternative transportation, and downtown development. We first visit Norman's downtown with Ida Built It.
Main Street in downtown Norman is an example of mixed-use planning, a method preferred by the advocate Jane Jacobs. Lofts sit above storefronts on a one-way street with limited street parking and a low maximum speed limit to assist those crossing Main on foot.
Norman is trying really hard to develop what's called the core Norman in ways that are appealing to people that live here, to the university, but also for economic development. It's sort of an iterative back and forth trying to do that work, but I think it's being done well, and hopefully that'll continue.
Not only are there multiple neighborhoods surrounding the area that are within walking distance, there is additional parking with a short walk from downtown. This area is also accessible by Amtrak for out-of-town visitors and embarked public transportation for local residents. Because of the multiple restaurants, offices, and unique shopping opportunities, along with street festivals like Art Walk, the sidewalks are occupied throughout the day and evening.
City offices, green spaces such as Andrews Park and Legacy Trail, and the library are all within walking distance. This is Ida Built It, reporting for Roundabout News.
We now take you to another example of good planning in Norman, the University of Oklahoma campus in the central part of the city. Overall, the campus is very walkable. In fact, most destinations are within a 15-minute walk. Street and sidewalk design is geared much more toward pedestrians, pressuring cars to slow down through design. Additionally, campus further follows Jane Jacobs' description of diversity. Although most are here for the same general reasons of housing, food, and school, the spot has many people traversing the area throughout the entire day, at different times of the day. The campus also boasts many mature trees for Oklahoma, which has many environmental and psychological benefits. The campus has water features and decorative statues throughout to make their streetscape more interesting to pedestrians. Likewise, the entire campus is laced with sidewalks rather than streets. The South Oval in particular has very wide boulevard-like sidewalks, as well as separate bike lanes. Though not a part of campus land, Campus Corner is a commercial extension of OU, especially in tenets of human-based design. Planned for the pedestrian, the streets are narrow and often recklessly crossed, pressuring drivers to slow down considerably. Likewise, parking is often sparse and difficult to maneuver, which encourages people to park once and walk around to their different destinations. This is a valuable tool in animating an area and boosting commerce. For if a group of people come to Campus Corner to eat at one restaurant, they will likely walk by other storefronts and be tempted into one of the sweet shops or boutique stores. This is Ima Planner reporting for Roundabout News.
Thanks, Ima. Part of the master plan was to create a survey to find out what Norman residents want and need in their parks. As we already know, men, women, and children use public space differently. Women are still the primary caretakers of children in America, and increasingly they are becoming the caretakers of their elderly relatives. Because of this, wide sidewalks and ramps are very important in order to push wheelchairs and strollers. In the survey, women indicated that picnic areas and playgrounds were very important. The city of Norman has added multiple picnic tables to Griffin Park, including several that are ADA compliant, as well as a new playground for children to play. The park's master plan includes multiple benches for parents and grandparents to rest as well as watch their children play. Shaded areas are also included to help people get out of the hot Oklahoma sun. Citizen participation is a cornerstone of good planning. It does appear that the city of Norman spent a lot of time and effort making sure that they met the needs of men, women, and children here in the city of Norman. This is Anita Goodgrade reporting from Griffin Sports Complex. Back to you, Ima.
Thanks, Anita. We're now on a section of Lindsay Street right off the highway. Though this area still has plenty of room for improvement, it also has elements of good planning that exist nowhere else in the city. Notably, it has infrastructure for alternative transportation. For instance, accessible sidewalks and clearly painted bike lanes run on both sides of the street from 24th Avenue Southwest to South Pickard Avenue. There are also several covered bus stops along this stretch of road, and the city has recently begun revamping their transit system to match. Additionally, vegetation and tree-filled medians between the street and sidewalk provide protection. These trees are still saplings, so they don't provide much shade or protection now, but they are an investment for the future. There is also a wide variety of businesses along this stretch of Lindsay, as well as some churches, apartments, and single-family neighborhoods directly abutting the area. However, the businesses are also spread out and set far back from the street and sidewalk because of parking lots, which make it dangerous and unappealing for pedestrians. Moreover, the street has 4 lanes with cars traveling at 30 to 40 miles per hour, and the crosswalk machines take a long time to allow pedestrians to cross. Though there have been recent additions for pedestrians and cyclists, Lindsay Street is ultimately built for vehicles. Notably, this area aligns with Clarence Perry's neighborhood unit theory, which places the busy roads at the edges of the neighborhoods, which have small, curvy streets, lined with single-family homes within, and apartments at the edge to buffer the busy street from the single-family homes. This brings into question the equity of this area's design. Why should low-income housing act as a buffer between high-income housing and the busy street? As Norman continues to develop, how can they manage these issues in housing and street design to better reflect good planning like the original parts of the city? Clearly, planning is not limited to physical design. Good planning must also include equity building, services, as well as a relationship with the community.
I think really you want to be accountable to the community. I think that's very important. I mean, it's, we are we are who the community looks to when there's development coming forward or that there's a need that the community needs or wants. So I think you have to be in touch with your community and know what they want.
I think it's important that we think about urban planning both in terms of sort of the expertise from community design and the built environment, but also really important to think about the relational aspects of city planning. So, like me, I teach in a master's program where people come and they learn to be city planners. But one of the things that I try to emphasize with our students is to think through not only what they learn, the expertise that they spend years trying to develop, but also the ability to just sit with people across the kitchen table and figure out, because everyone's an expert in their own lives, right? And their own desires for their community and where they want their community to go and where they want their lives to go.
Norman still has a way to go, but it is not without good planning. Even with so much of the city planned for cars, it still has oases of alternative transportation, mixed use, community engagement, and human-based design.
I think, if we could maybe think a little bit wider angle about planning, I think Norman is a special place because it is a true community of opportunity. And what I mean by that is people can live in Norman, households can live in Norman essentially on almost any household budget. You could afford to live here. There is housing available that is affordable. The schools are good. There are jobs. And so I think Norman has done a really nice job of being able to establish itself and maintain itself as a community of opportunity. Because we think about places that are sort of known for, great planning, and they're also super expensive. Lots of people can't live there, right? And so I think a place like Norman is able to balance that in ways that are really important.
Thanks for watching Roundabout News. This is Cara Lane signing off. Come back at 6 for an amazing story about how a man in Fort Worth built a train for his dogs.